All right, we're back with the You Decide. Been a little bit, but we're going to be bringing it back. And this time, we're going to be shaking things up by doing No Sanity, No Evidence. So hopefully you are in tune with your No Evidence actions. And let's see what we're going to do. First thing, again, you would want to focus on would be footstep speed. So let's see what it's going to be. Interesting. Let's run it back. Mostly just to verify one thing or another. What are you? I think we all know what that one was, right? Right?
Welcome back.
Of course it was a Dio. Came to us really fast, knew right away it was going to be really fast, slowed down. Did it twice just to make sure to rule out a mimic. Let's run it again. Right, maybe this one will be a little bit more difficult. Ooh, it's a spicy one. Where did it start at? Let's stick it over here. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. I think... Turn on this light again. No, I probably could have put like a salt maybe over here and done it in the garage. Alright, so you should have decided there whether that was going to be normal speed or not. Maybe slow, maybe fast. Maybe, who knows? Now, always, after you listen to footstep speed, it is a good idea to observe the ghost. So, look for the blinking. So if you think it's normal speed, we know we got to stick around. If it's slower, faster, well, you do want to rule out the possibility of a mimic, of course. Always have that in your mind. Now, for this, and observe. Now, surely you did, or you're gonna learn something. That's right, that ghost was an Oni. So how did we arrive at the Oni conclusion? Well, it was through observing it. Again, so the step that I like to take, first off, listen to the ghost's speed. So it was normal speed right away. So I knew we could rule out Revenant, Hantu, Twins, Thay, Dio, Moroi. So those, Rev's going to be really slow. Hantu's going to be slow and not speed up in line of sight. That ghost was normal speed and sped up in line of sight. Twins was going to be slower or faster. Thay was going to be really fast. Dio, like we saw, faster than slower. Moroi was going to be really fast because we are at 0 sanity. Raiji, we did not have any electronic on to rule out or in just based on that. So, again, next step is observing the ghost. I knew from observing the ghost that the ghost was going to be an Oni. Phantom would have been way more invisible. But from looking at it, it was an Oni. Again, you always want to rule out the possibility of a mimic. We did. It was the same thing. And that's why you do that in that order. All right, well, you know what they say. If it's working, why fix it? Don't know where the ghost is. All right. So again, you wanted to listen for footstep speed first. I do think you should have an idea of what this ghost is, though. I didn't quite glean anything I wanted to from that. I learned everything I wanted to based on that. Now, the question is, do you know what the ghost is?
Welcome back. There's some jobs ready for you.
Alright, so let's go through exactly what I did here to figure out that it wasn't Myling. It wasn't Myling. So, we knew right away that the ghost was going to be normal speed. So again, Revenant slower, Hantu slower, Twins faster or slower, Thay really fast early, Dio would have found us. Moroi, as the cats are scaring the bejesus out of me. Moroi would have been really fast. Raiju, we knew we could rule out a Raiju because it did not speed up any electronics. Around their electronics, we did have our flashlight on our head on. You know, not the brightest, but we knew we could also rule out a yokai because of that, you know? It did step in salt, so we knew we could rule out a Wraith. But right away there, I was kind of sus of Myling. It just seemed very, very quiet. And so I wanted to get a good Myling test done. And the telltale sign that I mean, I wouldn't say it's 100% accurate, but here's what I want to to show you that led me to it. So again, for a Myling test, you're going to only be able to hear the Myling when it is about the same time as your flashlight, your electronic starts malfunctioning. It's really good for a flashlight. What usually will get me sus from Myling is if I hear a lot of interactions and I don't hear the footsteps. And that's what we did to when we confirmed the Myling. Because again, that second hunt wasn't very great. Well, it's mostly because the ghost knew where we were and came back to the location and found us last time. So it kind of went straight there. I was trying to do a tier 3 paramic test for Myling, but I'll show you that here in a second. But if you listen here, you will hear the throws in the background and you won't hear the footsteps. And our flashlight has not malfunctioned. So all that together there led me to a Myling, but here's the cool thing with the tier 3 paramic. All right, I want to show you the way you can identify a Myling with a tier 3 paramic. So what you want to look for is this little semicircle. Call it like a rainbow. If you take off the paramic when the ghost is in there while it's hunting and you cannot hear it, it's a Myling. It's one of the reasons why the tier 3 paramic is one of the best items. So we couldn't hear it when it was there. Usually you could with the ghost. And that's the way to identify a Myling with a tier 3 paramic. Then let me see if, just for the hell of it, we can go do this again. And I could show you what I mean with the paramic. Let me see. Are we going to be able to? Yeah, okay. We could hear the ghost. You know, I don't typically rely on the tier 3. Typically it'll be the flashlight, but for like APOC I will. We gotta get that down. But you can tell there, we could hear the ghost, and our flashlight did not malfunction. So, there you go. Look, you all get a free one. I just wanted to verify. So I'm like, it does sound pretty quiet, but not enough for it to really matter. So let's see here. Let's head on out. Let's go get some things to start setting up. Let's see. I think it is in here. Mother smudgies. Yes. Alright. So again, what we're focused on, footstep speed, which you should know if it was fast or slower by now. And then we focus on observing the ghost. Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Duh, you scared me. Okay. It would be nice just to verify, but I think we should already know what this ghost is. Just based on that. Y'all should 100% know what it is. But, let's get one of these, because that's kind of scary. Thing you do have to be careful of with this motion sensor is to make sure that it's actually going to get the salt. If you're trying to do a test. Go, big boy. Do it. Alright, surely y'all know what ghost that was. Right? Of course that was a Wraith. Fairly easy. The key giveaway was the fact that we had that EMF 2 reading, and then the Cruci burn. And nothing had happened. That's because the Wraith teleported on top of us. So if a Wraith teleports to you, it will give off an EMF reading. I was pretty sure it was a roamer or a stalker for a few reasons. I was pretty sure Wraith already, and it was, well, when it interacted with the teddy bear in that room, we had already had the motion sensor set up, and it never set it off walking to us. We already had the salt up, had the motion sensor up, never set it off, which led me to think it was a Wraith teleport that did that. Then, of course, burned the Cruci. That's why I wanted to get the EMF reader just to verify. We got the EMF reading, burned the Cruci again. The ghost sounded like it was more towards the kitchen area, so there was no reason for that ghost to be there. And, of course, we watched it not step in salt 15 million times. But we were able to kind of eliminate some things at first. So, again, right away, we were able to rule out Myling. So, that was good. It was normal speed, so Rev, again, would have been slower. Hantu would have been slower or faster if it was colder temps. Twins would have been slower or faster. Thay really fast. Dio would have been really fast. Mora would have been really fast. Eventually, we were able to rule out a Raiju. Oh my god, Tanglewood again? Can't you do other maps? No, if the Phasmo gods are going your way with easy ghosts, you do not argue with that. Alright. I'm going to test Joe's ability there. Did you notice anything? Not even going to check for a mimic. We're just going to do it. How many of y'all were actually paying attention? Actually physically watching in the moment. Not on your phones. Not doing something else. I should be keeping your attention the whole time.
Welcome back.
That's right, to go sit and step in that salt. I hope your eyes were adjusted enough to be able to see that. And as I say, once you get a ghost, there's a 50% chance you'll get that same ghost the very next game. Not a real stat, but one that damn sure seems real. And once again, if the Phasmo gods are being kind to you, you do not do anything to mess that up. What are you, nuts? We're sticking with Tanglewood until we get a stinky stinky. We better get no stinky stinkies. We better get no stinky stinkies. All right, what'd y'all gather from that? No, 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 no. Nice, nice. What was that? What was that? You didn't hear the ghosts that well, and you need to hear the footsteps again? Say no more. Say no more. Alright. Alright. I hope y'all understood that. Ooh, how dare you cut off my breaker. I need that to see. Bruh, I need that to see. I can't see without my breaker. Very interesting, very interesting. Alright. Alright. Where's the ghost room at? That's what I need to know. Is it in here? Or is it like out here? Probably should get a thermo to verify. Because we kind of need to figure out some things here. You. Maybe it's foyer. No. bruh.
Welcome back.
Well, we
There's
could have
some
got that a
jobs
lot
ready for you.
sooner. It definitely went through the motion sensor a lot. So we finally had the orbs there at the end, which means we did a lot. We did do a lot. Let me go run through what we basically had ruled out, which I was kind of sus of. But okay, so the ghost was normal speed, so it never changed speeds either, which would have definitely been the giveaway. We did have electronics for a Raiju. I didn't think it was a Pulte. I didn't think it was throwing enough. I don't think I ever needed to smudge it, so I don't think we got a spirit test. Stepped in the salt, wasn't a Wraith. Normal blinks, so not a Phantom. Not an Oni. Turned off the breaker as well, so not a Jinn. It did blot the candle, and I believe Hunt while we were in the same room, so we could rule out a Shade there. We did see it for a while, so it was not an Obake. We're able to rule out a Myling because we could hear the footsteps prior to the electronic malfunctioning. Now, that first hunt, I was very, very sus of Myling. We couldn't verify for sure, so could it have been mimicking a Myling the first hunt? Sure. Yokai was where I started to think, wait, it was a yokai? Because it wasn't coming to us when I was doing my radio there. And I was like, I thought I'd already ruled out a yokai. That's what kind of led me to go get the video camera there. Also, it did hunt. Now, with the range of the Tier 3 Crucifix, with the Firelight, Tier 3 Crucifix is a little bit bigger. So, was it a perfect Onryo test? No, but I was sort of happy with that it was at least a mimic, and I was pretty happy with the Onryo test. But Yurei was going to be impossible there because Yurei cannot interact with any doors if it's the living room. I don't think of Tanglewood. Yes, so if the ghost room is the living room, the Yurei cannot use its ability on any of the doors. So that was going to be really, really hard to figure out. But thankfully, we did have the orbs. It was a mimic. All right, we're going to go ahead and head into Edgefield and do something a little bit different. All right, I'm going to put that in there, and I'm just going to put... Let me just put you in there just so we know it does go somewhere. Pick it up. Hopefully the ghost won't see us. We can get it out the way. Alright, let's see. Kitchen or living room? Don't hunt. God, dude. Why are you doing that? Right, based on everything, I don't think we really need to worry about a mimic too much. I could be wrong, but it was one of the ghosts I was definitely thinking of. Yeah. No orbs. You know what that ghost was.
Welcome back. I've got some jobs ready for you.
Nikos was a Thay, which explains the crazy events that happened, because I do have my events set to low, so the fact we got 2 back-to-back like that was pretty crazy. Led me to think Oni or a Thay, and it was really fast right away. And because of the way that the ghost was acting the whole time, this is why I didn't really think it was a mimic, but we did know that the ghost was really fast, which meant we could pretty much rule out, well, all the normal speed ghosts. Too fast to be a Hantu. It stayed fast. It didn't straight come to us, so we knew it would not be a Dio. Not fast enough to be a Goryo or with a fast twin. Not a Goryo. Goryos are not fast. Wish they would. That would make it nice. We didn't quite do a smudge test to see if the Moroi stayed slow longer, but I did remove the motion sensor and it stayed fast. There were no other electronics, so that's what led me to think that it was going to end up being a Thay. I'm just going to throw that motion sensor, the EMF reader in there. It probably would have been smart to take a motion so we would have known if it was roaming to us, but oh well. We'll deal with this. We got it. My God, again? No comments from the peanut gallery out there. No comments. We did not just run into a naked ghost, okay? No comments. Yeah, well, I figured that would happen. I don't know where the ghost is, though. I don't know if it's, like, in the hallway or elsewhere. We could do the return of Cheeky Peekies. We've been trying for so long to do this. The return of Cheeky Peekies. It is. We're not looking at him. I'm not giving y'all the pleasure of seeing a naked ghost. Y'all will not get that sort of pleasure. Nope. Get some damn clothes on if you want me to look at you. Get some damn clothes on if you want me to look at you. You understand? You understand? Thank you. Kind of surprised with 2 events back to back, but guess we can make sure because we want to be in this house for as little time as possible. All right, good enough for me. That's little enough. Surely y'all know what that is, please. Please.
Welcome back.
That was, of course, another lovely Dio. Kind of surprised it wasn't a Thay with with the 2 events and then how fast it was. I was like, oh, they're about to deal with another Thay, and then it rounded the corner right for us. All right, the ghosts have been mighty kind to us today. We haven't really had any super crazy difficult ones. Let's keep it here. Let's see how this goes. And it immediately turns off the breaker. Alright. Good thing is the breaker was here in the garage. Let's see how it goes. You may burn this. Alright, very interesting, very interesting. We need to get it to hunt one more time here. Just to be safe. Let's cut off this breaker, shall we? Surely y'all knew which that one was, right? Linus, you knew? You knew which one was name? You did. Linus knows.
Welcome back.
You knew that was a Hantu as well. Really, really awesome ghost. Definitely one of my favorites. Now, I knew going into it that it was going to be one of two things, really. That ghost sounded slow starting out, so really it was kind of, we could kind of eliminate just about everything else. Like all the normal speed ghosts we could eliminate. Or the faster or super slower ghosts. It pretty much came down to, it was not slow enough to be a Revenant, still faster than that. It was going to be one of these three, Mimic, Twins, or Hantu. I knew right away, I was like, it sounds a little bit slower, so I was thinking Hantu or the Twins. Fast breaker cutoff as soon as we went through the house. Very sus, because Hantus are more likely to turn off the breaker. When we brought it into the living room, it did not speed up in line of sight. So I knew at that point it was either going to be a Hantu or the Twins, or a Mimic, and we cut off the breaker just to see the breath. We did see the breath of the Hantu. You could tell it was faster in the hallway, so I guess the ghost room was the hallway. But either way, we knew that the ghost was a Hantu. Alright, I did already stick my EMF reader in there. Drop that down. Alright, perfect. Perfecto. Perfecto mundo. Let's see what we got here. The ghost, yeah. Close by or some else. Let's see. Alright, there's really one of two things that could be right. Ghost, yeah? Yeah? I will never find you? Nah, I know exactly what you are. I know exactly what you are. Just a little piece ghost hunting service at your service with a bunch of trainees who knows exactly what that ghost was. Right? Y'all know? It was actually a really good representation of sort of the Myling and how far it is for the range. It On Edgefield, Mylings are very, very difficult, but with how far that ghost was away, you had a really good visual of you could see the ghost, you could not, like, hear that thing at all. I was like, my God, I've really ever seen it really that clear like that, especially on Edgefield and just the path that it took, and then when it came closer towards us, we started to hear it. Normal ghost, obviously, you would hear it everywhere around there, so... Great example there. Hopefully you got that. We did know that it was normal speed right away, but really from looking at it, I was like, it was either going to be a Myling or a Mimic. And if you still want to play along, click or tap the screen now. Play along with the previous, you decide. Happy hunting, everybody. I'll see you in the next one.